Hello and welcome to the Halo Forge epidemic. This is Oakley HiDef and I'm here to bring you another forging tutorial. And this one is going to be sort of feeding off the gun show. It's going to be in the same general theme where I'm going to use parts of that and sort of build on the military theme. And this episode is going to be for the creation of land vehicles. So there's going to be a variety of different models. I'm going to show you the basics of how to make your own. So first what you want to do is choose a pretty flat location. That way it's easier. And what you want to start for the general shape is this right here, a braced tunnel in the decorative section. So just float it off the ground a little bit like that. Then what you want to do is stick another one here and have the pieces touch right there. Then once you have that, you want to add another pair just like that over on this side, and that'll form the main body of your ship. So there you go, have them overlap slightly like this, at least in this model, and have the ends touch just like that. So that's step one, is build the main frame like that. Step two is add a floor. You can use any type of blocks. Here I just use blocks 4x4 and lay them across the bottom. Then once you have this main frame here, you start throwing on the wheels. Due to the limitations of Forge World, this is the basic wheel you're gonna have to use when you're building ships. The other kinds you could build are really small or too large. I'm talking about dishes. So this is the ideal size of the wheel. This is what you have to use, and this is what's going to dictate the general size of the ships we build. So there you go, I added 4 more. When you build them, make sure they're integrated into this brace tunnel because that looks nice, and then space them out a little like this. Then for the top, go into the platform section, add Y larges, and throw them up top like this to form a ceiling. So that's nice. We have a bottom and a top, and here you have these openings. You feel free to block that off just like that, stick that in, it looks nice. And that you have a big gray color to this whole thing, but it looks nice with these lines and stuff like that. And to add more detail, you can add guns from the gun show on the sides and on the top. Now another thing you can do is just not fill this thing open as we did over there. You can leave it open, and then you can have a sort of a deployable ramp. So instead of just being a big aesthetic piece here, it actually has function to it. So this is an armored APC, which can be, I guess, side loaded. So over here I'm going to show you another model. So again, use the brace tunnels overlapped like this. In this model I spaced them out a little bit more, so this one's going to be bigger. Then lay a floor. So step 1, have frame. Step 2, floor. Step 3, throw on the wheels. Here again I've integrated the wheels into this brace tunnel piece. Then platform Y larges again on the top, and then I'm going to use landing pads to finish off the roof right there. Then what I'm going to do is add again another aesthetic gun from the gun show, and this is the anti-aircraft gun. Then over here I'm going to block this off with bridge medium pieces, and then these little ugly sections here I covered with bridge small pieces. I added warthogs on the inside and then ramps coming off both sides. So this is really nice, whereas that one is basically for infantry and maybe mongoose. This one is more heavy duty. It can be for infantry again, but of course you have these little places here where you can stick the warthogs and you just fly out. So this is a nice alternate vehicle. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the third design I have for these land vehicles. So the other two over there are being built, and I'm going to show you how to make the third type. So those two over there were basically side loaded. This one is going to be slightly different, and it's going to be a front loaded APC. So again, I'm choosing a flat section of the map, throwing down my brace tunnels, same style, floating off the ground and touching right here. Again on the other side. This time, as you can see, I did not overlap them. There is some space. So this is going to be key for this design because it's front loaded. You need space to come through. So again, outer frame, then you add floor. And now what you want to do is throw down the wheels. So I'm going to stick those on all the sides like that. And this time, instead of being all the way out here, I kind of push them inside the structure, so it looks like they're within some sort of casing. So that's nice. Now that I have that, what I'm going to do is go ahead and add some short walls. So this, I use the brace large pieces on either side with the head kind of overlapping here, and then they form walls like that. So I'll close that off. I'm going to add 2 more at I think a 15-degree angle on either side, and then I'm going to add 1 more on top, so that'll form the body of this vehicle here. And then what I'm going to do is add a little more detail to this. So over here I didn't exactly like the look of this, so I added a brace tunnel piece on top. And it looks nice. It looks like this is sort of a cockpit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this piece here that might look ugly, but I'm going to use it to fit my design by adding a small turret on top. So it looks like that's what I meant to do with having this piece coming here. So that's nice. Now the next thing I'm going to do is come over here and I guess you could leave this open. Oh, wait, never mind, I skipped a step. What I do is throw down these platform Y larges again here to form a roof. Sorry, I skipped that. Now, what I was talking about before is here, I fill in that gap. I kind of like that look. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it on the other side as well. Then over here, at the entrance, this is where the vehicles are going to be coming out of, and infantry. Then I add these wall curve pieces here and here, and then one at the bottom coming out here. So that sort of implies that there's some functionality to this thing. They're curved, so you can imagine these two would fold in, and this one would fold up over the top. And then what you can do is add warthogs on the inside, and you just fly out of the ship like that. So that's nice, as opposed to the two side-loaded ones over there, which are still being built. You have a front-loaded one here. So it depends on what you want. And this one it's definitely beefier than the other ones you saw. Those were a little skinnier looking, look more mobile. This one looks like a moving tank. It almost looks like it would move at the pace of an elephant in Halo 3. So this one's a little bulkier, and it's a different kind of style. So feel free to use all the designs I've showed you, the general strategies, which is where you build first the frame on the outside, the floor, and then the wheels. So go ahead and do whatever vehicles you want based off this general design. And go ahead and use the exact designs I have here and alter them a bit. Maybe you want a satellite here. This could be your information vehicle. Since it's slower moving, you could make satellites on top of it, etc. instead of guns. Maybe more larger side-mounted guns here. You can do whatever you want, integrate stuff from the gun show. Another thing I guess you could do is say you want to make this much more functional, so you have warthogs coming out here. Then what you could also do, I guess, is just delete the sides, and you would have to make some sort of thing here. But what you could basically do is actually let me just grab a mounted machine gun. What you could do is add some decorations here, and that way vehicles come out here, but if there's people attacking you, you could basically make these gunner seats on the side of your armored vehicle. So what I would recommend doing is either you make this just a walkout exit like we had over there, so make it so you can just walk out. But another thing that would be kind of cool is you could actually just make gunner seats, which is where you would just shoot out, but you can't necessarily come in. So what I would recommend doing is going to decorative pieces, cover crenellations, I guess. So you could do two of those essentially. This is a little sloppy. Let me go back and put it on 15 degrees. So what you could basically have is gunner things coming out of here, and I guess we need a little more. Yeah, I need to fill in this gap we had sticking out here. So basically, if you want to add much more functionality to your big elephant here, would be to add turrets, which is pretty cool, because then you mow down anyone who's trying to attack you. And I guess you could also make it so you can jump out. So this is really cool. Lots of functionality to this vehicle. It'd be more heavy duty than the other ones, much more fortified. So that's something you can do. So the front loaded, and you could alter my design to make it a side loaded as well, and at the side, etc. So this is much more functional than the other two, where you had the aesthetic side gun. Here you could have actually a functioning side gun, and you can already see how devastating this would be, because it's got pretty good cover and it can just shoot this whole wide area around it. Then you have warthogs coming out the center. So overall, these are highly flexible, and I recommend you guys using them for all types of maps. I'm pretty busy. I build a lot of the aesthetic tutorials, take care of the channel, and do infection and infection, invasion, other types of maps. I have tons of ideas, but I just don't have the time to do them. So what I'm going to do is, after I make each of these sort of forging tutorial videos, I'm going to throw out some ideas that I'd like maybe you guys to try and tackle. So I'll start now. I guess obviously what you could use these vehicles for, all three of them, is place them on your map for some sort of invasion, where you make some sort of elite structure, and then you have the humans coming in these fortified vehicles to come and take out the elite defenses. So what you could have is you have these. Maybe you can have them on the beach. If you want to make a D-Day, you could have some of these maybe the front-loaded vehicles, because that one kind of looks like it can go underwater. So you could have 2 of those, maybe one here and one here, rolling up to the beach, and you'd have to put a shield door in front of that. But basically you would have those rolling up the beach. Spartans would sprint out, and over here you can have a line of defenses for the elites, and that'd be pretty cool. So it's a D-Day with huge sort of crawlers coming out of the water. That would be epic, more epic than having these small little boats that people usually make. You could have huge vehicles coming out of the water, which would sort of add to the futuristic feel of it rather than trying to imitate World War II. You can make it a futuristic D-Day with the vehicles to go with it. So have some of those coming out of the water and elite defenses, and also, since it's a front-loaded thing that's pretty big, you could also have warthogs running out over the beach, wreaking havoc on the elite defenses, etc. So that's one idea for invasion. You could also use these vehicles as defenses for the humans, where maybe the backdrop for your map is it's a vehicle depot or something that the elites have to come and like bomb these vehicles or something like that. So that could be kind of cool. Another thing you could do is big team battle, which would be really awesome, is where each team has their own sort of mothership on each side of the canyon. So what you could do is either have one of these for each team or one of those for each team. So you could have one down there and one here of that model, and that basically serves as a base because it's got one front entrance for vehicles and then side entrances for machine guns and for jumping out. So this kind of imitates what would be a base as you would see in Coagulation, but it looks like a vehicle. So you could have vehicle bases here and back there. So that would be a big team battle map where you have one on either side. Then you could use maybe that vehicle or this vehicle, so as support roles. So each team would have their mother, whatever you want to call this, mothership, and then you have support vehicles maybe placed on either flank here and here. So each side would get 3 ships, and then maybe in the middle you could make a no man's land with anti-tank traps, etc., bunkers along the sides. So that would make a cool big team battle map, and it would also work for Slayer, free for all. It could work with flags. So this is very flexible what you can use these vehicles for. So yeah, they've got a lot of functionality, especially when they're not just aesthetic pieces, they're front and side loaded, etc. So go ahead and use all these designs to make your own maps, and be creative. Don't just copy and paste exactly what I did. Go ahead and try whatever you want on them and use them for different game types. As I said, I don't have time to build all the ideas to spring to mind, so go ahead and try and build your own ideas or what I've sort of thrown out. So that's it for land vehicles. Again, we're slightly limited due to the fact that the only wheel you can basically use is this, and that dictates the size of the vehicle overall, so that's too bad. But I guess what you could do is make one much larger, where you could have a pair of wheels on each side, so here and then one here, and also another set here and here. That way you can make a much larger vehicle, and then I guess you would have wall coliseums as a base, so you can make a huge crawler. So that, I guess that would go back to the big team battle. Instead of making something like that, you could make something twice as big by using the additional wheels, etc., and that would definitely be a mothership. And then you could have this one, which I was saying before, be the mothership. That could be a supporting role off on the side, because those are nice as supporting roles, but they're not as functional as this one. So this one would be nice because it's got 3 ways into it, and you would have turrets to defend. So that would be kind of cool. If you want to make this one the supporting ship, and then I guess the mothership would be bigger than this, what you could do is set down a Colosseum wall like this, and I'm just going to do something very, very quickly. And this might not look great, but you could basically have a set of wheels in the front, here and here, and you could do the same thing, in the back, where you have 2 wheels here. So again, I'm not going to build this whole thing, I'm just showing you what I'm trying to get at. We could have a big crawler that's humongous, with a wall coliseum being the base, and then 2 sets of wheels on either end here and again on the other side. So that would be a good mothership, and it would make a sizable base with an entrance here, here, and back here. So if you're going to try and tackle this, what I recommend doing is using the same strategy I've been talking about for creating these. So you add the frame using these brace tunnels on either side to sort of outline it. So what you would do here, if you're going to try and build this, is add your frame along the outside like this. Actually, I'll use over here because it's overlapping. What you would do is add your frame like this, wherever you want it. I guess this would overlap like this. So you have your frame here, then you would build your floor, and then you would throw on the wheels on either side, and then after that you just have to take care of building up the walls on the side and the roof. So it's not that hard. So go ahead and use all the ideas I've put forth to you guys and make your own maps, your own creations. So that's it, and maybe we could take a look at your designs down the road. So that's great. I'll keep doing these forging tutorial videos, and I think the next one I'll be working on is how to make flying vehicles. So along the same theme as gun show, land vehicles, we'll make air vehicles. So thanks for watching, you guys. Hope this helped. Oakley HiDef signing out.